Hello and welcome back, I am Arumba, thank you for joining me. Let's play some more Great Horde, Golden Horde, the Rights of the Horde, in Europa Universalis 4. There's a new version of the beta patch, and they have reverted the fort change. And that means we're probably going to delete our forts. The problem is with most of these forts, well, this is woods. This one's actually kind of useful maybe on the Muscovy border, but most of our forts, maybe that mountain one too, but this one's useless to me now. So you'll notice right away that they also doubled the cost again. Mothballed is 0.5 instead of 1. Sorry, it's 0.5 instead of 0.25, so that's another huge incentive to me, at least, to get rid of these things. This mountain fort down in Kabul, though, I kind of like the idea of keeping this one. Just we have a... Well, then again, we're a horde. We don't really want to fight in the mountains. Let me think about this for a second. If I were to choose, would I rather have 25% reduced shock damage for all my units by fighting in the mountains, and have a -2 penalty against my attacker? Or would I rather have 1.25 shock modifier to all my units in the plains, without the -2? We're talking about a 66.6% swing in shock damage, which granted, there's two phases, fire and shock, so effectively, you could take the 66% bonus to shock and average it over the course of the fire phases. It's not exactly how the math would work, but it's an approximation, right? About 33% more damage dealt versus having a -2 penalty. No, I would say I'd rather just fight in the plains. So, yeah, we're just not even going to rock that fort. Same thing with the forest then, that logic is the same. No castles at all. Who cares? We don't need them. They're silly. Also, the area's map mode is pretty much useless again. I don't know, Paradox. Sometimes I question your thought process, man. Anyway, we're doing okay. I feel really stupid after having just paid off all my debt and then going back into debt again. Remind me to never go crazy with rooting out corruption again. Like, doing things like this, that's just silly. Because I was sitting right at the threshold of paying off the debt. I did it right away, and then I just immediately went into debt, which is stupid. Anyway, between episodes, I looked around the map a little bit, started spying on Hamburg again, because we need to steal all of their glorious technology, because soon-ish, we're going to embrace some more institutions and take some technology and stuff. For now, we're on no maintenance, we're hanging out on the Muscovite border, and we're waiting to see what our options are. As far as true stammers go, let's take a look around the map a little bit. It's been a couple days since I've played this campaign. I've been doing lots of other stuff, Ryukyu mostly. So Oirat, we have a truce with them soon. They have no allies, would love to eat them. Definitely realizing that part of the issue we're having right now with the Great Horde, Golden Horde, is that I've raised almost every province we've ever conquered. In fact, I've prioritized provinces that have enough development that we can raise them. The issue is that the state limit then makes it so that the only provinces or the only areas I can turn into states all have really crap development. Which means that as we've finally expanded to some areas, maybe like in Western Europe or so, or Eastern Europe, that have higher development than this plains area, then we have no state slots available for the higher development areas. And also, of course, if I'm raising them, then we have like no income. So I still feel like raising is really powerful, but we might stop doing it quite as much just because... Yeah. Also, still wondering why they've got this like this increased borders thing for the areas map mode if they're not going to use the forts based on areas. Like, it's kind of pointless now. I don't know. I guess it still looks nice. But anyway, we got to pay off our debt. We have 42 power projection. We're second rank great power right now. We have longtime rivals. We are embargoing Poland, embargoing Muscovy. We are not embargoing Ming. We should take care of that real quick. Our closest diplomat. It would be really cool if in this tooltip it would tell you how long it would take for the diplomat to come home, based on the distance from their capital to your capital. I mean, logically, Brandenburg is probably going to be the closest compared to these guys. So I would assume that that's going to be the case. And right now we're getting all of our technology reductions off of the spy network in France. So let's come back from Brandenburg for a second and embargo Ming. Have we insulted anyone lately? No. We might actually be able to get up to 50 for a short period of time here. Sorry, Oirat, no, you can't have military access. What kind of rebels do you have? Just peasants. Looks like Ming is having some serious issues right now. Ming, Mayo separatist, Ning separatist, Woon separatist. Oh my gosh, has the implosion begun? He's on military tech 10. We're on military tech 9. He has supported my rebellious vassal. If I declare war on him, even though he's supporting rebels, I believe that my vassal will be forced to be on my side. Land just got returned via forced emperor requirement. Distant war and Ottomans are in debt a little bit. I'm thinking, we do have a border with Ming. Can we see? You have lost the mandate of heaven. Oh gosh, here comes our opportunity for some serious power projection. And some serious development, too. Out of curiosity, would the Ottomans join me in a war? No, they're too much in debt, and they have no manpower. Fighting against France would be bad. Why is France allied to Poland? France is the Defender of the Faith? Is that it? Must be what's going on. Humiliate Rival is the only CB that I have at the moment. Yeah, France is Defender of the Catholic Faith. And unfortunately, all of Poland's vassals are Catholic, so we would have to fight France as well. That sounds like fun. I mean, France is on, you know, military tech 13. At least the Ottomans are up there, too. Ottomans are 2 techs ahead of Poland, 3 techs ahead of Lithuania, and only 2 techs against Moldavia. If we could pull them into a war, we could definitely get some good power projection over that way. But I'm really liking the idea of this Ming thing now. If he goes bankrupt, I'm totally going to get all over that. Let's have you guys go, like, over there first, and then over into Kukla. In the meantime, we're going to try to save up enough money to pay off this debt. Basically, all that happened is I wasted 0.1% inflation and 100 gold, roughly. Well, like 107, something like that. We need 503. Alliance offer from Sind. Sind wants to be my ally. We don't have very many relationship slots right now. We've got our vassal, who's still very disloyal, as expected. Right, we were supposed to embargo Ming. That's why I actually brought this diplomat back. And that puts us at 43. The answer to this alliance thing is probably going to be a big ol' no. You are allied to Malwa. Military Tech 9. Military Tech 10. We have no truce with you right now. Multan is guaranteed by Delhi. Delhi is allied to other people. Garhwal, allied to people. Nepal, of course, is going to be allied to people. Persia has fabricated some claims on Iraq. I could declare based on Persia's CBs. We're going to decline the alliance. Iraq would be a very easy war. Feeding land to our rebellious vassal would not actually lower his autonomy, or sorry, lower his liberty desire, so that's kind of silly. We do not want to fall behind on these things. More diplomatic reputation could be useful. Not going to convert anything right now because he's got humanist ideas. I know he's rebellious. I know I have loans. I'm not going to be building anything for a while because we need to be upgrading our institutions. And we do have some unrest in Fera down here, based on stuff and things and reasons. Autonomy. We've got some provinces that are at 98% autonomy, with negative 99% unrest. Well, 98% would be nice to lower. I'm assuming that most of these are going to be capped at 75, though, because they are not states. This one, Azov, that is kind of tempting to maybe lower. Azov is at 54% right now, and it is not controlled by the tribes. It's an estuary, and it's got negative unrest that's pretty reasonable. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and lower autonomy here. It's only 6 developments, so it's not really a huge get, but beyond that, if we did like these ones, we're saving 15 autonomy. Let's just take a look at like one of these provinces to decide most of them. So Taraz, we could gain 15% of 4 development, so that's like not much. Would you like to have unrest for 0.6 development? Well, kind of need it, don't we? Ish. Maybe. We'll see. I don't think we're going to do it yet. Staying at peace is a good way to just lower autonomy. Getting more state limit would be another way to do that. 15 states. When do we gain our next state slot? Admin Tech 12. We could have that very soon if we just pay off our loans and then embrace the institution. Muscovy's fabricating claims on me. That's not really a good sign. Okay, so our diplomat's back. We need to insult our rival. Probably Poland. That'll take us up to 48. Not quite 50. Sadly. We could get up to second, first place great power. We'd have to supplant the Ottomans, then we could have it. Let's go back to spying on Brandenburg for now. And keep a close eye on Muscovy as we march our troops over there. Also, the truce with great. The Oirat's going to come up in 62. It's a little ways off. It'd be nice to have our troops already in position on the east. And if not there, then I'm considering this thing with Sind. Wouldn't mind getting a vassal. What's the war score cost for you? Under 49%. Reckless Privateer. I don't really care about my privateer efficiencies. That's fine. We're not making very much money from it. We have ship durability. Oh, great. Seriously? I have 3 ships, and our leader has ship durability? That's what you're going to give me? Navigator? This ruler's a navigator, personal involvement in everything from the curriculum for officers to the procurement of good charts. That is hilarious. Nice work. We're not going to become Defender of the Faith. Monarch point generation's pretty trash. We have really low horde unity right now. We need to attack something. Our state is not very prestigious. We're trying to get our prestige up right now. Anyway, what was I looking for? I wanted to come back from somewhere so that I can take a look and see. I can't recall if the tribal feud CB will give us reduced cost for vassalization. If it does, we might be able to vassalize one of these nations and get some money from them as an overlord. We don't really draw very much actual like vassal income with our current government form, but it'd be better than having nothing really. The tribal superiority gives, no, it's 100% cost for vassalization. So when Sind says that they are 149%, that means we cannot vassalize them. Multan, on the other hand, was a nation that I did intend to vassalize and then release. Declare war on you. Delhi gets pulled in. Delhi had an army. It wasn't huge, but it was an army. 29,000 troops. Multan had none, I think, at the time. Last time I looked at it. Multan has now, yeah, 0 troops. So 29,000 men, it would be what we would have to fight. I think Ming is going to full-on implode here. So as much as I'd like to go after one of these guys down here, I think now we declare war on Ming. That gets us up of 50 because we will have declared war on a rival. And we just take advantage of the fact that he's got all these rebels at the moment. And he's got no allies. So it's also glorious in the eyes of God. Gives us some more morale of armies. Currently we're negative, so that's going to harm us on income and tech cost, sadly. But we're going to make up for it probably with power projection and, well, just beating up on a rival. So I really don't want Yarkhan to get spit out, because while Yarkhan would be easy for me to conquer, I'm not going to get any power projection for it. And I hate when I get stuck below 50 power projection, even though I'm really strong, you know? Like, it's like, come on, crying out loud. So anyway, I don't even think we need to wait for our morale to come back up. I think we can just go ahead and say Tribal Conquest right now. Let's just real quick check his army. He's not bankrupt right now. He's got 85,000 troops on tech 10 to my tech 9. So he's 1 tech ahead of me with a lot of men. It might be best to wait and see if he goes bankrupt. If he goes bankrupt, it's going to be such an easy war. No risk. Just conquer all the things. If he doesn't go bankrupt, then I could be missing out on a huge, huge opportunity to get my power projection capped out at 100. Which would really, really help out a lot. I'm going to play it safer, though. I feel like it's better for me to go for the bankruptcy play. Because, in my experience recently, at least, with Ryukyu, if Ming loses the Mandate of Heaven, they go bankrupt. Like, every time. So, for now, stop rooting out corruption, even though we're not actually paying for it and doing it right now. Most of the cost right now is reinforcement. We don't really need... Well, we do kind of want full morale right now. I was hoping to pay off this debt before we started, but... Only 520 ducats. We could pay it off soon. Don't declare war on Delhi. We just declare war on Multan. Vassalize him. We don't co-belligerent. Take show superiority. Win first couple of the first battles. He is 1 tech ahead of me. Tech advantage gives him what? Flanking and a better cavalry unit. And he also gets the Pedrero or the Culverin, one of which gives defensive pips. And I think I had a cannon at one point, but I think I never replaced it. The value cannon may be worth more than paying off that debt a little bit sooner. We have quite a long time before the debt comes due. 1561. Yeah, I think we, by 5061, I would actually almost consider taking the institution before paying off that debt. Because gaining anything by paying it off early, except that I prevent myself from forgetting that I have the debt. You still pay all of the interest that you owe. It's not like you get a discount, you know. Which is kind of interesting. If you think about like a standard mortgage, if you owe $200,000 on a house, and the interest is 5%, or 4% is what usually they charge an EU4, then when you pay it off early, you don't end up paying all of the interest you would have owed, because that's like 600 grand. You just pay the principal. But it's curious how in this game, the loans do force you to pay all interest back over the 5 years, even though you don't actually owe the money. I mean, you're already paying a penalty, right? When you take out the loan, you gain inflation. That's the penalty. But on top of that, they also charge you the interest no matter what. So the best case scenario is to just pay back the debt at the end, if you have the time to spare. But then again, if you don't have the time to spare, that could be bad. I don't know. It's just curious that it's different from like real life. End of science. Let's lose the piety. Also, by declaring war on a Muslim, we can actually go all the way down to -100 piety, right as we're planning on doing some other stuff. So I like this play a lot better. We're at full maintenance. We got Flat Train and Sin Cigar. Where are your forts? Got to remember that we're using regular fort rules now. I've got to completely change gears here. So let me just think about this for a second. Also, I wonder if the AI has stopped mothballing their forts, because they... Nope. They're mothballing them like crazy. So we got a capital fort in Highlands. We've got farmlands, so double farmlands forts. We want to basically bum rush the forts down in Delhi. Unfortunately, they are not mothballed. His capital's way down there. He's got a fully maintained fort down here in farmlands. So none of his forts are in bad terrain for me. And he's not going to be able to call on his allies, even though he's going to be in the war. So yeah, we just rush down straight into here. Now, zone control rules. Let's see if we can remember how this works. So instead of areas now, as soon as I march within the zone of control of this, within his territory, from here, I'm only going to be allowed to go here. I will not be allowed to go here. From here, I can easily go here. If I go there, then I'm forced to go to either one of these two. So that means that this army is going to go to that province. And this other army, whenever it gets down here, which will be in July, might be best to wait a couple more months just to get the entire army on the front lines. We don't really want to worry too much about the Molten Fort because of that -1 penalty and the shock disadvantage. We just basically want to swoop in, separate piece Delhi after taking these two forts, and then we'll worry about Molten. Because the army is all owned by Delhi. We just take advantage of the flat terrain. They still, even though they reverted the fort change, they did not revert the fact that combat width is no longer reduced by terrain. You notice that combat width is always maximum. So 25. We want 25,000 troops in the farmlands of Lahore and 25,000 troops in the farmlands of Doaba, which is going to require 50,000 men, which we only have 41. So it looks like we're going to wait for the entire army and then just park the whole damn thing right in there. We'll suffer a little bit of attrition. Who gives a crap? We've got tons of manpower. The Arcandi Separatists, great. Looks like we have to deal with that now, too. Again, Delhi has how many men? Delhi has 30,000. So if I parked these guys all down there, talking 17 plus another 10. That's 27,000 versus his 29,000. These guys are roughly safe. With a shock advantage, we would probably be okay. If we went to Lahore, he'd have to cross the river coming from Sirhind. And he's got claims on this. He's lost wars recently. His allies are down here. He hates Malwa, so Malwa's not going to give him military access. I'm not going to ask for military access. That means that he might not even have an army up here. He might not even be able to get to it? Is that true? Garwali attitude towards Delhi's hostile. Yeah, I think he's blocked here. He could go up through Utsang, but Nepal hates him. He'd have to go like all the way around this way, or he'd have to go through Kathiawar. He'd have to get military access through all kinds of stuff. There might not even be an army up here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just start this now. I feel like this is an appropriate thing to do. Let's wait until the 1st. On the off chance that he mothballed a fort. I doubt he did, but maybe. You never know. Okay, you're gonna head... Gotta wait one day. You're gonna head straight down there. You're gonna head straight down there. It's a level 2 fort. We need 6,000 troops. You're gonna pull off 1, 2, 3. You're gonna go here, here, and here. One of you guys is gonna go here. One of you other guys is gonna go down to there, which we can't get to because of zone of control rules. Gotcha. Okay. Alright, cool. I am looking forward to this war. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. We're gonna take a break here. I'll see you in a little bit. See you soon.